Okay, now we're recording.
Okay, so we've got
So
the
we did
definition of Buddha
broadcast it.
nature. Start off with vegetables. Now, what are the two things that, according to Master Shantideva, cause all the physical and mental pain in our world? And David, can you read C14, and that'll be the answer. So see if you can think of it. What are the two things that cause our physical and mental pain?
Wanting ourselves to be happy.
Aversion and attachment.
Grasping to what?
Yourself. Self-cherishing.
Me and?
Mine. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And the second part is that causes pain and suffering. You said?
Thinking of your own happiness.
And therefore doing non-virtues to do it, right? Let's see if that's the answer, David. I feel like I'm on a TV show. Let's see. Letter Q. Yeah.
Behind the curtain.
Let's see if that's the answer.
Since they have stopped.
Sorry.
Great question.
Since they have stopped bad deeds, they feel no pain. And because they are wise, there's no dislike. This is due to the fact that thinking of things the wrong way
Me and mine.
and doing negative deeds
Bad deeds.
harm the body and mind.
Thank you, Mr. Shantideva. So there it is. These are all references to how we should look at things, okay? So he's giving you an idea, but you have to know what that means. Otherwise you can't have a practice about it. What is thinking of, so they feel no pain, bodhisattvas, right? Buddhas, bodhisattvas, they don't feel any pain anymore. Why? They've let go of me and mine, thinking of things as self-existent, meaning things are out there separate from my relationship to them. They've let go of that, and therefore their pain went away. And doing stupid things in your world to get things, things you think are going to make you happy, doing it in a reverse way, in an ignorant way, causes pain. They've stopped doing that too. They have no suffering. Okay? Now, here is relate and explain the metaphor used in the Sutra of the Diamond Banner to illustrate the kind of confidence required to bring to a successful conclusion all those good deeds which we undertake. So again, we're talking about not feeling discouraged anymore. There is this activity of building that bridge, right? Bodhisattva activity, the 6 perfections, and having joyful effort, removing the self-doubt and whatever, requires some kind of state of mind to be a certain way, so have some kind of confidence, right, to do these activities, whatever they are, to build that bridge. Yeah, so see if you can remember the banner.
It's the Bodhisattva is like the sun which rises, and
Cool.
so you don't get discouraged when people are like in the shadow, and you shine indiscriminately on all beings.
Yeah.
So you shine indiscriminately and you're not discouraged.
Excellent. So in that in that sutra, the Banner of Victory Sutra, the Diamond Banner Sutra, there is this idea that that bodhisattvas are like the sun. They shine like the sun. And the sun doesn't ask questions. Am I going to rise today? It's just doing what sun does, which is shining. Okay? And it doesn't sit there going, should I shine a little stronger or a little weaker? Maybe I should shine to the left or I should shine to the right. Once you understand the goodness that you need to do to generate a perfect state, once you understand the activity of a bodhisattva, the 6 perfections, the effort, etc., you just do it like the sun. You are unstoppable like the sun. And you don't concern yourself in a negative way if there's someone that is blind and can't see all this awesome goodness that you're doing. That doesn't stop you. You keep doing it. You don't stop shining because there's a person hiding behind the mountain there on the shadows and they didn't get my beautiful sunshine. I'm a good bodhisattva and I'm doing sunshine and they didn't get it. And now I don't know whether I'm going to stay up here. You just keep shining. Right? So the interesting thing about this is that you are going to have a perception of beings not engaging in your beautiful virtuous activity. You know? You're doing awesomeness. You understand the foundation of awesomeness. You're doing it to the best of your ability and you're working to get that sunshine out there. You are not dependent on other people's responses because they're having their own karma in relation to you. Some people might think what you're doing is crazy. You shouldn't give away your things. Are you stupid? You should take more things. You don't stop because someone's blind, because someone's hiding in the shadows, or someone's getting sunburnt, right? You don't stop. You're the sun. So that's the thing about being unstoppable. Do you want to read number 16?
Utilize the technique described in the Diamond Victory banner to practice the confidence once one has begun. At the very beginning, appraise yourself to see if you have the resources needed.
Capacity.
And then decide to act or not. The very highest thing to do would be not even to start a thing, but once you have begun, then never allow yourself to stop.
Right? So I'm going fast. The next question he asks is, what's Master Shantideva's reasoning for saying that we should be willing to undertake our deeds on behalf of living beings all by ourselves, even if no one helps us? Do you remember that? So once you've decided, okay, this is my mechanism for turning on goodness, once you've understood the logic to the best of your ability and you're committed, what's it says if no one wants to play?
Do it anyway.
What? How does it say do it anyway? Actually, let's give you the answer. Can you do C17?
The confidence of accomplishment is when you say, I am willing to do this thing all by myself. The entire world lives at the mercy of their mental afflictions. They're incapable of helping themselves at all. Beings can't do what I can do, and thus I'll be the one to do what must be done.
So you've just got insight into the way the world could possibly, you're still not sure, right? Could possibly really work. You've gotten the code for the matrix. That sounds bizarre to someone that's living in the matrix. People that are living in the matrix are bound by the laws of the matrix. To think that there's something outside might be threatening to some of them. So once you got the code, become unstoppable. They're not going to help you, really. Don't expect that they're going to go, you decide to get enlightened, we've been waiting for you. Right? Now you will find beings like that. They're also your projections. They're not in the matrix. He's talking about people in there. Yeah? Got that? Cool. So that ends the chapter on joyful effort. And then we start the last chapter of this middle section course, which is the chapter on concentration, on meditation. So we've covered how not to get angry, right? Because that destroys goodness. How to practice against every odd of getting angry. Removing that completely. You have to develop that state of mind in order to perfect it. Then you develop a state of mind that finds joy in doing the bridge building, the goodnesses. You have to do that. That's the wind that blows the flame. Yeah? That moves the flame. You have to find a way for you to get more joyful about doing good things. Meditating, insight, like doing the right good things for this mind to turn it on. And now he's going to go into, let's look at that mind. Let's look at all the things happening in that mind and let's do this practice of concentration. Now miraculously, Master Shantideva does not give a single instruction on how to meditate. He sort of assumes that's done. He goes straight into something else. He'll go into two different ideas. So I'll summarize it, okay? One is offensive and one is defensive. States of mind about keeping your mind sharp, keeping your mind focused. One is when you're walking around the world, interacting with the world, because you're creating karma, you're creating content for your mind. So he says, one big part of this whole chapter that I'm going to call concentration is really about doing practices as you walk around your world and being completely aware of why you're here and what you're doing towards other sentient beings. And the other one is about going deep into your mind and what you should be doing when you are in deep concentration, in meditation posture, if you like. And all he talks about in this entire chapter is being kind to others. He doesn't say breathe to the left, do the right nostrils, stand up straight. Everything he says here is like he did in the not getting angry chapter, meaning doesn't matter what you come up with, he's got an answer for why you shouldn't get angry. In this chapter, he says, doesn't matter what you're going to come up with, you must be kind to every single sentient. And he'll give you every answer. Every answer to your excuse of, I can be nice to everyone, but not Saddam Hussein. Right? I can be nice to everyone. I can think with the right state of mind towards everybody, but not them. He'll just give you answers for all of them. So these are the two. Right, the defensive one is like, as you're walking around the street, remember why you're there, you're getting in line, don't get hypnotized by the everyday. And the other one is offensive, going deep into meditation. And that, the defensive one, the one that you're walking around and keeping your mind there, keeps you from getting mental afflictions during your day, which there's lots of time to do that, right? The other one, the one that you go really deep, that takes out the source of mental afflictions from the root. So this is what he's talking about. The first one, he says, give a short definition, definitive description of the meditation, of meditative quietude, which is called shamatha in Sanskrit and China in Tibetan. Do you remember that?
Directing your mind to an object with tranquility.
Is it one-pointed concentration?
It's single-mindedness, which is imbued with the exceptional bliss of practiced ease due to a deep single-pointed meditation on its object. So you've got parts of it, right? But what does that mean? What's the imbued with exceptional bliss? So single-mindedness, which is imbued with exceptional bliss of practiced ease. What does that mean? It means that you're familiar with parking your body, parking your mind, and you've gotten so used to it that you've developed the joy, right? You have this kind of bliss coming into your body because you are in that state. And then single-pointedly putting your mind on an object, right? So that's shamatha. He's later going to go a little more and going to go to vipassana, which is then relating to what kind of object we put this state of mind on, right? This is a platform for having that really deep state of meditation. So he says about quietude, C1.
Once you've developed your practice of effort in the way described above, then place your mind in single-pointedness. A person whose mind is in a state of constantly wandering lives his life in the jaws of mental affliction. This constant wandering never occurs with those who remain in isolation of body and the mind.
Isolation of body and the mind. It doesn't necessarily mean you're off somewhere in a cave. That part is important. But isolation here, he'll talk about it in the chapter, it means you're removing yourself from being sucked into a reactive experience of the world. Okay? You have in your mind a practice that you're doing and you are removed from that. Okay? You are in isolation. You're not going to react to the Facebook messages and the Instagrams and the likes and the dislikes in the way that we're supposed to. Yeah? You've removed yourself. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying maybe do it with the practice of removing your attachment or your hypnosis under it. Can you read the next part, which is C3? Stopping attachment.
Understand first the fact that vision, married close to quietude, destroys the mental afflictions.
Mm-hmm.
Begin then by seeking quietude. It in turn is achieved by the bliss of losing attachment for the world.
So then we are asked, give a short definition, a definitive description of the special insight, that vision that he was talking about, which is called vipassana, or vipassana in Sanskrit, Halaktong in Tibetan.
So that vision is not the direct perception of anything?
No, he's talking about that vision is, that special vision. It's talking about vipassana. Yeah, a wisdom.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'll just give you the definition. It's that wisdom which is full of exceptional bliss of practiced ease, by the power of analysis of its object, because you've got that, yeah, and which is founded upon quietude. So you've got quietude, you've got shamatha, you've figured that out. Maybe you've meditated on your breath, or you meditated on French fries, or you've meditated on whatever, and you've gotten to that state of mind where you have single pointed concentration and that agility to do that towards your object. Then you put that onto a high object, and the highest object being, what's the highest object you can meditate on? Emptiness. The understanding of where things are arising from, what things are dependent arising, but based on what? What's the thing? So the lack of inherent existence. And then when you do that, you have this wisdom which is full of exceptional bliss of practices. So you've done that enough times that it actually is also blissful. Now, we have Kedrukje and Gyaltsukje. Which is the text that we're studying? The commentary by Gyaltsukje. And Kedrukje has a 4-step meditation on emptiness. We didn't cover this on the thing, but I think it's important to give you those 4 steps on the meditations by Kedrukje.
Yes.
And you can pick any object. You can imagine yourself in this room, for example, or whatever room you're in. Scan your world. And in the first step, you look at that object. Let's say you think of your body as an object, or your thought as an object, or the altar as an object, or your picture of your lama as an object, or whatever your object, or your lama as an object, whatever. And you, once you've done the preliminaries and you get to the meditation part, you look at that object unexaminedly. You look at it as if you didn't know what it was, as if you were a child and just reacting to the object for what it is. Oh, it's a photograph. Oh, it's a candle. Oh, it's my thought. Oh, it's my body. Just completely unexamined. Yeah? Completely unexamined. So look at it normally. And then you look at it, look for the self-existence in it. Meaning, look at it how you really see it. Look at it with ignorance. Look at it that you think it exists out there. That photograph is sitting out there. My body is this thing only. Yeah? That thought is a floating bubble in my dark mind. Whatever you are conceiving of this thing in the way you are, which is probably with ignorance if you are who you seem to be, then look at it, try and look at it that way. Oh, there it is, that thing out there separate from me. Think how that is possible. Yeah? Don't fight it yet, just look at it. Just, oh, there it is, that self-existent thing. Once you've got that, then you look at it as dependent arising. And this will depend on your training. Okay, there are 3 ways of looking at things dependently arising. The 4 schools have 3 ways, right? And the Madhyamika Prasangika, the highest school, has a definition for dependent origination or dependent arising as things are arising. That photograph exists, that thought exists, my body exists, my lama exists, in dependence on my projections. Causes and conditions and parts are the 2 lower views of dependent arising. They still function, okay? You can look at them that way. You can look at them in the self-existent way that way too. Yeah? But whatever way you're working with dependent arising, you can say, okay, look at it with dependent arising. The only way I can see Lama over there or a teacher over there is because I have all these associations to what a teacher is, and he teaches me things, and teacher means this, a good teacher or bad, like whatever, you begin to look at that. Yeah? And lastly, you've now looked at things as they are unexamined. You looked at them as how they are not. You looked at them how they actually seem to arise in your current world to your best understanding of dependent origination. And then you will look at them how they really are. You drop all the story in your head, all those 3 stories, you drop them. What is there? if I didn't have that first one, that second one, and that third one. And you are left with emptiness. You are left with, there is no thing self-existently, unexamined, dependent arising. There's nothing there. What is it? This frame thing, the picture, the sensation. And it's hard to get there. It takes effort and habituation, but that's how you get to wisdom. Yeah, so you do those 4 steps over and over and over. And you don't have to do it visually. We do it visually because that's what we're used to doing more. You can do it with a sensation, you know. You can do it by grabbing an object. So, you know, you can say, okay, what's this feel like in my hand?
Even with your thoughts.
What's the sensation? What's the sound? What's the smell? You can do it with that. Play with that. It's a really good thing to play with, over and over and over. Okay. List the 5 obstacles to meditative state of mind. Do you remember these? I'll give it to you. Restless desire, feeling of malice, dullness or drowsiness, attraction to sense objects, or destructive doubt. Doubt that you haven't cleared up. Okay?
Again.
Sure. It's a restless desire, feeling of malice, dullness, attraction to sense objects, and doubt.
To sense objects?
Yeah, just objects of the senses. Master Shantideva describes the joy of living in the forest solitude, and then urges us to spend our times there in the woods, in gentle walks through and thoughts of helping others. What's his recommendation? Once you get into, now he's talking about the deeper meditation, once you get into that deeper meditation where you're going into retreat or isolation, where you now removed all the distraction, what's he tell us to meditate on? Thoughts of helping others. But how? First of all, he says, treat yourself and others exactly the same. Right? So if you want to read C14, David.
Think of these considerations and others as well. Contemplate the benefits of isolation. Put an end to useless thoughts and meditate upon the wish for enlightenment. From the very beginning, exert yourself in the practice of treating others and yourself the same. When the happiness and the sufferings are the same, then you will care for all just as you do yourself.
And then we went through a whole series of ideas about really thinking of yourself and others exactly the same. You'll get deeper into this. But the first objection that came up in the room and then came up in the text was, I don't feel others' pain. Like, if Jenna got cut, I don't feel the cut. So how can I treat her exactly the same? And his answer is, see 16?
Suppose you object and say that your pain never hurts the body of another. Even so, your pain is something you can't bear for just one reason. You're grasping to yourself. Just so, even though it's true that sufferings others feel never come and strike you, still it is your suffering, since you'll find them hard to bear once you grasp to yourself.
And there's information in there, right? What other suffering is there other than the one you're perceiving of your world? Okay? I will do 10 more minutes, so you're welcome to stay or go, but I think it's good if you stay. He then gives us some logical proofs for compassion and love for others. So let's read C17. This is a shortcut.
I must stop the pain of others because it's pain. It's like the pain that I feel myself. I must act to help all others because they're living beings. It's like the body that I own.
And that's his answer. At the end of a long, long chapter on arguing, should I take care of others and how and why not? The bottom line is, if you don't want to have pain, treat all pain like it's pain, like it's your pain. No pain. If you see it in anything, stop the pain. That's it. The barrier between you and others gets discussed later, but that's some kind of fictitious thing. If you see pain in the world, you see pain in the world. Stop pain. It's your responsibility to stop pain wherever you see it. It's your responsibility to generate goodness wherever you see it. He says it's as simple as that. You don't need too many words. Then he writes, then what's that famous verse? See if you can remember where all the pain and the happiness of the world comes from. Do you remember that verse?
Yes.
Let's read it, David.
The total amount of happiness that exists in the world has come from wanting to make others happy. The total amount of suffering that exists in the world has come from wanting to make yourself happy. What need is there for many words? The children of the world work for their own sake. The able Buddhas do their labor for the sake of others. Come and see the difference.
I love that.
Come to the resort.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have one, 21. No. Come see the difference. I love that he's talking from experience there. He's saying, once you understand this method for getting free from suffering, you understand that every suffering is caused by clinging to yourself and wanting only you to be happy. And every goodness that comes was for wanting to help others get happy. If that only makes sense if you understand the Prasangika view of dependent origination. That's what's profound about bodhicitta in this thing. Once you understand, out of the three views of dependent origination, that things depend upon your perception, which is forced upon you by your previous habits, then this makes complete sense. Wanting, just the impulse to help the entire world to the best of your ability. You don't have to perfect it, right? Plants the potential in your mind, because seeds grow, multiply, and expand, to see everything the opposite, coming towards you, helping you, giving you. If you do it just selfishly, it doesn't quite work. You have to have that karma. So then he says, what's the greatest single demon of all, and what metaphor does Master Shantideva use to describe that demon? Great, it's the coal. And what's the demon though? The thing that will stop us from reaching a state of enlightenment, the biggest single demon he describes here as the coal that you put your hand in the fire and you don't want to let go of, and it's burning you day after day, life after life, moment after moment, nice thing after nice thing. It's just burning, and you cannot let go of it because you think if you let go of it, you're going to burn. But in fact, the only reason you're burning is because you're holding on to it. What's that a metaphor for?
Grasping.
Self-cherishing. Great. So you want to read the... And now the game show continues.
Yeah.
And now, every single harm that comes in this entire world, every fear that comes, and so too every pain that ever comes from grasping to myself. What use for me then is this, the single greatest demon? Until the day that you give up your own self, you'll not be able to stop the suffering. Until the day that you let go of fire, you will not be able to stop your hand from burning.
It's really beautiful. It's really stunning. And then he says, I'm rushing again. He says, how should we practice towards three attitudes that we normally have? Now that we're developing a bodhicitta, bodhisattva state of mind, when we meet people, we tend to think of them as lesser than us, equal to us, or greater than us. And when they're greater than us, we're jealous. We're like, oh, how come she got that? Yeah. When they're equal to us, like they're similar capacity, when we perceive them that way, we normally compete with them, right? And when they're lesser than us, how do we treat them? Like, oh, of course. Yeah, etc. So, like with superiority complex, yeah. So he says we all do that when we meet someone. We do in the first few milliseconds. We look at each other and we go like, she's better than me. Damn it! How do I beat her? She's probably does this bad or something. You know, like we do these things. When we meet someone equal to us, we're like, how am I going to show them up, or how am I going to? He's like pretty blunt about it. There's three states of mind. And then he says, for that which is jealousy, competitiveness, and superiority, how should you flip them? You should be triggering yourself to flip them. So with superiority, you should
Respect.
with competition, you should
Collaborate.
collaborate. And with superiority, you should
Compassion.
compassion. Fantastic. Yeah. So good on you. You want to read the verse?
Make those who are inferior to you, and so on, be yourself. Make yourself now none other than the others. Practice this with a state of mind that's free of ideas, the feelings of jealousy, competitiveness, and pride.
Great. So this is the beginning of the second practice. The first practice was treat other people exactly like you would treat you. If you see pain, stop pain. Now he's going up a little bit higher. Swap yourself for others. And this is where I was going with that. If you see yourself judging people that way, if I'm in this room, okay, and I'm having a mental affliction, and I'm like feeling, oh, I'm Hector the teacher, I have all the answers, because I have my iPad, but I have all the answers, right? So I am so good. And look, Paul Javier, he's looking at me like he doesn't quite understand. And, you know, David, he's asking all those difficult questions, and damn it, I wish he wasn't so clever. And, you know, Jenna keeps competing with me with the things, you know, I've got to outdo Jenna. So if I watch myself doing those things, instantly he's saying here, he begins doing this flip-flopping. He does it over and over. Swap yourself for others. Recognize what it is. Create the bubbles above their heads of what you think of them, right? Put your bodies in all your bodies over there, and then vomit forth all my horrible judgment back onto this one person. Swap yourself for others. See the horrible nature of your mind, and then multiply by every person, every set of eyes looking at you, and see that judgment, see that superiority complex, see that competition, and get a sense of what you're doing to your world. And it hurts. And it should force you to stop. Yeah? So he begins this flip-flopping. He's like, first of all, you feel it for them, then you feel it for you, and so on. Okay? He begins this beautiful practice of, and that's a way to recognize what really is in your mind. Yeah? Now, don't get discouraged. We did that. Okay? This is just to show you what you need to do to finish the bridge. It's not to get discouraged. Don't do that. Okay? We dealt with that, right, in the previous chapter. So then can you read C36?
If you had at some point in the past undertaken this very action, then it's completely impossible that you'd be living like this, in something so opposite to the excellent bliss of Buddhahood.
And this is just his answer to, but I am being kind to everybody, and I am a good person, and I haven't got all these Bodhisattva results yet, and I haven't got all these goodnesses. I have been kind all my life to them, to all these people over here. Because if you really have, you wouldn't have a shitty, cyclic existence. Yeah? You have some goodness, that came from some goodness. If it's all ending and disappearing, guess what? That got caused, and it didn't get caused outside of what you caused it. So don't tell me that. He says, I went by it. And lastly, he says, what according to Master Shantideva is the inevitable result of caring closely and serving only the body. So one of the things he sums up this whole reason for not taking care of others is because we have this thing that is seen separate to everyone else. So we spend so much of our energy taking care of this thing, which is my body. Yeah, the me and mine refers to my parts. Yeah, and he says,
the more it is that you take steps to do what you must in order to care for this, the body of yours, the more it is that the body descends to nothing more than a state in which it can't bear pain at all. And the fall is such that even if you were able to get everything that was desirable on the surface of this planet, it would never quench the desire. Who then is it that could act to give you all that you want? When they cannot, then this desire brings on mental afflictions and a lessening of the thought.
The thought being bodhicitta. He's saying here, if you live a nice, comfortable Western life and you've got air conditioning and heat and nice blankets and a comfortable bed and running hot water and blah, 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 you get used to that. Your body gets used to it, gets accustomed to it. You put it out of context for a little while, and unless you have an adventurous state of mind, which you're happy to rough it out for a few weeks, but don't give me the non-running water all the time, it becomes a suffering. The body's just getting habituated. There is no end to its wants. And then he flips it again. He does the continuance of the flip. Who is it that wants this body happy like that? The body doesn't want it. It's just dead meat. I'm going to use it again. Right? Did I use dead meat?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just...
We did a meat count one class.
She sat at home doing a meat count.
What was it?
How many times I did meat?
13.
13 in one class.
In one class.
Yeah.
You did what?
It's
Said
just...
meat.
It's...
She counted
It's-
Hector's habit.
He says meat a lot.
The body doesn't care. Remember I said if you put it in the vice president's chair or you put it in the
That's
coffin,
right.
the body without the mind that thinks he owns it, it doesn't care where it sits. It doesn't care where you lie it down. It's just meat. Carne. Right? So why is it we spend so much time and energy? It's actually not the body, it's our perception of the body. That's a separate thing. And that's the thing. So that's the end of those 3 magnificent chapters. To excite you about the next one. The next one is wisdom, the way to view all these things, right? Master Shantideva is going to start off next course by saying, you know all those practices I gave you? They don't work. All those things that I just taught you, they don't work. There's only one thing that makes them work. There's only one thing that works, and that's wisdom. With wisdom, they work. You trying these things, you can try them, you're going to get black and white results. They'll come and go, come and go. You cannot keep them until you understand wisdom. So, there's probably 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't decided yet, between now and the next course. Here is the invitation. I have 2 invitations for you for the next 3 weeks. Don't let this teaching disappear by being another thing you sat in a room. If you want to internalize it, grab one of those 3 subject matters. Grab not getting angry. Grab joyful effort. Grab concentration on swapping yourself for others or treating others exactly the same. Right? Concentration. Grab one of those things that could really help you in whatever you see your world like at the moment. And this is just an invitation. You don't have to take it. Like Master Shantideva said, observe whether or not you can do it, and if you can, commit yourself and do it. If not, pull back. It's not within your capacity. But the invitation is, I'm going to, every single day, grab one aspect of either concentration, joyful effort, or
Not getting angry.
Or not getting angry, patience, and I'm going to work it. I'm going to find the place where I get angry, and I'm going to work that one place, and I'm going to keep a log every single day of that main thing, and in 3 to 4 weeks you are going to see a difference if you work at just that every single day as your focus for the next 3 weeks. Same for concentration, same for joy. I suggest joy because it's the wind that blows the flame, and it's actually a beautiful result. Building joy into every activity, the right activity, right? Not just licking ice cream. So, if you would like to play, let me know by email by tomorrow, and I will show you what we're going to do with that play. And here is the idea. The idea is you track yourself. It had be 1 line, 3 lines, a paragraph a day. I don't care, but it's your time to work your mind. Yeah. Instead of just working it for yourself, offer it to others. I'm suggesting you email me or you message me, or you are free to post it on the 3 Jewels Facebook as your insight, serving others. Hector working on not getting angry. Oh, I met with them again. My mind did this horrible thing. I wanted to think she said this to me and that's why I feel suffering. All of a sudden, I spent time doing X, and although it didn't feel comfortable, I'm waiting for the results. It can be just like that. It's just practice publicly, if you're interested. Mm-hmm.
Is it okay to take generosity?
Yeah, you can check. Yeah, generosity is awesome. Yeah, because I know you're doing that one. Yeah, that's perfect. Any of the 6 perfections, I'll accept. But what I want to do here is I don't want to leave a class hanging without internalizing and making practice. Yeah, and remember I said you can also write an article about it. You can write an article about your private logging. Let's say it's too private. Yeah, because you might have to name names or whatever. And so you want to write a short paragraph by the end of the week, and then submit it. And submit it means we're going to put it up on the 3 Joules Facebook to share with other people how beautiful it can be to change your mind, and or put it as a blog in the 3 Joules website or something. It's just this place is helping us change our minds. Can we help others engage with that by watching you practice? Can you be an example for others to practice? That's the best way I know to get rid of your own afflictions. That's invitation number 1. Invitation number 2 is in the next 3 weeks, I am doing short video interviews with people that come to the 3 Joules for 2 reasons. To share with potential audiences of the 3 Joules an experience of what the kind of people that come here are like. So short 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute interviews. And the interviews are for 2 reasons. What is it about the 3 Joules that keeps you coming here? It could be your story that you found the 3 Joules. It could be any of these things. It's something beautiful that keeps you coming here. It could be the community. It could be like, oh, I learned these things and I haven't found them anywhere else. Or Uta said to me the other day, she was in Arizona and she was in Germany, and she says, I am so grateful for the 3 Joules because in other cities you don't have a place to go to that is like this. And I didn't know that until I went to other places, and then you couldn't have a place to go to where you could have this interaction. And so that kind of snippet I'm looking for. Again, I want to upload it to the 3 Joules, and I want to expand this feeling of this. It's not just for us. Yeah, this place is for other people. And secondly, for those that are adventurous, and I really want to do this one more than anything else, is we have some core teachings on karma, some core teachings on emptiness, some core teachings on compassion, purification, 4x4, etc., 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 right? I want you to teach them on camera. For example, you might do the teaching of the pen, right? Everyone knows the pen, and it's a way we explain emptiness, right? I see in my mind a short video saying, he starts on the pen, but he does the next part of the pen, and she does the next part, because you did a whole explanation of the pen, and you did a whole explanation of the pen, and you did a whole explanation of the pen, and because they're so similar, because you know what you're teaching, we splice them together, and it looks like you're all teaching the same thing, and it's lovely. Or how to meditate, or something like that. Can you do a short 4-minute teaching of a core understanding of how karma works? What are the 4 of karma? How do you purify? Because I want to hear from people that have been here for a while that you know this stuff, because it's time we start teaching other people. Who else is going to teach other people? Not me. Yeah, I'm doing it. So I'm inviting you. Again, email me tomorrow. See if you would like to play. If you are, let's play serious for 3 weeks. See what changes in you. Now let's dedicate an amazing, amazing course. Yeah. Bukir Jushin Metoshan Rira Limshin Devim Padi Sangye Shindu Miteru Argi Rokun Namdak Shinla Diyam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamninyatayami Nirvani Yoku much for the opportunity to share. And hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, 2 more requests for those that would like to. Geshe Michael is able to come here. We've been asking him, please come back. He's only able to come here 2 days in September. One would be open teaching, and I would like it to be to a different, broader public, maybe take him to Brooklyn, not Bushwick, and get a different crowd. And the other one would be to the 3 Jewel School, and the normal method. But I'm not here in September. So I'm also interested, if you're emailing me tomorrow and you would like to participate in helping for that event, I need a lead responsible to help Steve. And lastly, if you have a coffee shop near you, I would like to distribute flyers for pilgrimages to India and Nepal and the 108 live strip that are happening in September. That's why I'm not here. Yeah. So if you've got bookstores or cafes, if you could put them there. And this is the trip that I'm doing with a bunch of other Buddhists, taking one in Spanish, one in English, India and Nepal, the 4 sites of the Buddhist life. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Hector.
My pleasure. Thank you. Do you have a coffee shop, Javier, you could dump things at?
I have places where I can put stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Also, if anyone wants to work on homeworks, if you need to catch up, maybe we can practice them here on Thursdays if there's anything going
You
on.
can, or I'm also available. Rachel also asked if she's going to email you guys. I'm available through the 3 weeks to review this again. Yeah. If you come to Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah. And 1 session or 3 sessions, I don't know.
When?
Yeah. Thank you. Does that work? Thank you so much.
Nice.
And I have the exam and the homework I did
I'll
while
take
I
it.
was
Yeah.
gone.
Thank you. Yeah, if you got exams or homeworks, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. It
My
was
pleasure.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Love it.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, hope to see you
Oh,
again.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure I will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me know. Oh,
I can drop that again.
what?
I can pick you up.
Thank you. Nice. Ex-boyfriend, everyone.
Thank
Thank you. Congrats.
And, yeah, I've been performing in a way on tour and stuff, but I've been following.
That's amazing.
Across, so.
Thank you. That's awesome. Emily would enjoy marking this.
She seems to have fun with the one.
Yeah,
Did we stop this? Javier, did you stop it?
I didn't.
Would you like me to mail it to you?
Oh, I don't remember
You
your
can, or
best.
I will be back for the
Yamakat,
next.
what?
Great. Okay, so we'll have.
What was it?
Huh?
Yakata, Yamakata,
Yamantaka 26.
Yamataka.
I'm
Hey, are you here to pick me up?
stop recording.